Welcome back to the Theater of the Unsaid. You have tuned your frequency to Anything You Want, the only digital sanctuary where we do not simply read the headlines, we read the souls between the lines. We are the archivists of the heart, the observers of the quiet revolutions that change the landscape of stardom forever. Today, we are stepping away from the noise, the flashbulbs, and the manufactured scandals to examine a phenomenon that is far more powerful. The deafening sound of a man finding peace. Before we unravel the tapestry of this modern romance, I invite you to anchor yourself in our community. Please, subscribe to the channel to ensure that when the truth is whispered, you are there to hear it. Press the like button to signal your appreciation for deep dive journalism. And for those who wish to walk the red carpet of this channel, for those who want to be the true patrons of this storytelling art, I urge you, click the join button. Your membership is the heartbeat of this platform, allowing us to continue decoding the lives of the icons you love. The entertainment world is a cacophony. It is a relentless storm of love affairs, messy breakups, tearful reconciliations, and orchestrated chaos. For years, we have watched the titans of Turkish drama navigate this tempest, often becoming casualties of their own fame. Yet, amidst this noise, there are moments of clarity that stop the clock. Çağatay Ulusoy, a man known for his stoic silence and his impenetrable privacy, has finally broken the seal. But he did not do so with a scandal, he did so with a whisper that shook the foundations of the tabloid press. His recent statement regarding his partner, Aslihan Malbora, was not a standard celebrity soundbite. It was a manifesto of a new era. We are both calm people, our minds are at peace. We keep our relationship private, not public. Everything is going well. We support each other, both in our acting and in our love. Aslihan is a very mature woman and she motivates me. On the surface, these are simple sentences. But in the lexicon of a superstar who has spent a decade guarding his heart, these words are revolutionary. They struck the industry like a bolt of lightning, not because of what was said, but because of what was implied. The use of the word mature was the spark that ignited the flame of speculation. These words marked the definitive rupture in the timeline of Çağatay Ulusoy's emotional history. They forced an immediate, uncomfortable comparison that rippled through social media. If Aslihan is the definition of maturity and peace, what were the others? The implication was clear, leading millions to whisper the same question. So, neither Serine Sarıkaya nor Duygu Saraçoğlu ever had this specific impact on him? To understand the gravity of this love story, we must look beyond the paparazzi photos. The tabloid world thrives on friction, it feeds on the on-again, off-again narratives. But Çağatay Ulusoy and Aslihan Malbora are writing a script that the tabloids struggle to comprehend. They have chosen inner peace over external validation. They have chosen the quiet intimacy of home-cooked coffees over the performative romance of crowded restaurants. They prefer the anonymity of unknown vacation destinations to the calculated leaks of holiday photos. As Aslihan Malbora herself has hinted in her own rare interviews, her presence, quiet, feminine, yet undeniably strong, offers Çağatay the one thing his fame has systematically denied him: balance. We must acknowledge that the Çağatay Ulusoy of 2024 is not the same man who burst onto the scene a decade ago. He has undergone a metamorphosis. He has traded the extroverted chaos of his youth for a life grounded in nature, tranquility, and craftsmanship. He is no longer seeking a partner to share the spotlight, he is seeking a partner to share the silence. Aslihan did not just enter his heart, she entered his lifestyle. She fit into the puzzle of his new existence with a terrifying precision, bringing not just affection, but a shared philosophy of living. I must pause here to ask you, the perceptive viewers of Anything You Want. Do you believe that people truly change their type as they age? Or do they simply stop chasing excitement and start chasing peace? Is calm love the ultimate goal, or do you miss the fiery passion of high-profile romances? We want to hear your philosophy. Tell us in the comments below. And remember, if you want to support independent analysis of the stars you love, hitting that join button is the most powerful way to do so. The inevitable side effect of such a definitive declaration of happiness is the resurrection of the past. When a man says, "I have finally found peace," the world immediately looks at the women who came before and asks, "Was it war?" Following Çağatay's interview, the digital world fractured into three distinct camps. There were the nostalgics, crying out that Serine Sarıkaya was the great love, the unforgettable fire that can never be extinguished. Then there were the defenders of patience, arguing that no one endured as much as Duygu Sarısen, and that her years of loyalty deserved more recognition. But then, a third group emerged, the realists. Their verdict was harsh but insightful. Neither Serine nor Duygu could provide the man Çağatay has become with the partner he actually needs. Let us revisit the pages of history. The relationship between Çağatay Ulusoy and Serine Sarıkaya was the definition of a supernova. It began at a time when both were ascending to the Olympus of Turkish acting, during the golden era of Medcezir. It was a union of two bright stars, radiating heat and light. It was young, it was passionate, and it was impossibly visible. However, the fatal flaw of that relationship was written in its very DNA, its visibility. As veteran magazine commentators have noted in hindsight, Serine and Çağatay were very affectionate, but at the same time, it was very exhausting. Their love was a public spectacle, constantly under the siege of external pressure, busy schedules, and the relentless noise of social media. Serine is, by nature, an energetic force, a social butterfly, vibrant and constantly in motion. Çağatay, at his core, has always possessed the soul of a hermit, a retired spirit trapped in a leading man's body. Looking back, their story was one of passion, yes, but it was a passion that burned oxygen rather than creating it. It was not a sustainable ecosystem. When Çağatay uses the word calm today, he is essentially closing the book on the chaos of that era. Then came the era of Duygu Sarısen. This was, perhaps, the longest chapter. It was the quietest. It was the relationship that constantly teetered on the edge of "they are about to get married." Duygu, respected for her own career and her ability to navigate the treacherous waters of media attention, was long viewed as Çağatay's anchor. But we must distinguish between peace and silence. Their relationship was isolated, yes. It was moody. It was based on a simple order. But simplicity does not always equate to growth. Love requires silence to take root, but it requires sunlight to grow. The relationship with Duygu was nurtured by silence, but eventually, it seemed to fade into it. The key phrase in Çağatay's new confession is, "She motivates me." For years, the whisper in the industry corridors was that while they loved each other, they could not improve each other. Two people can occupy the same space without elevating one another. That, it seems, was the tragedy of the Duygu era, a patience that never blossomed into partnership. We are dissecting the very architecture of love here on Anything You Want. If you are enjoying this deep dive, please take a moment to like this video. It helps our voice reach further. And for the ultimate backstage pass, click join. Your support makes this channel possible. So, what makes Aslihan Malbora the exception? Why did she succeed where others faltered? The answer lies in the nuance of Çağatay's sentences. We live our lives privately. A mature woman. She motivates. Aslihan offers a dynamic that is entirely new. She focuses intensely on her own professional career, yet she is uninhibited in her support of his. She fits into the dynamic yet introverted spirit of the modern Çağatay. She does not leave him alone on set, providing companionship, yet she feels no compulsion to be photographed. She takes a solution-oriented approach to conflict, avoiding the drama that drains the soul. She brings energy to his routine without bringing stress. She is the synthesis of what was missing. She has the career focus that commands respect, but the calmness that invites intimacy. Therefore, when Çağatay calls her mature, he is not just paying her a compliment, he is identifying her as his soulmate. He has found a woman who does not ask him to be a star when he walks through the front door. Why did millions feel that the previous relationships didn't impress in the same way? The answer is simple. If a man describes a woman as mature, calm, motivating, and relaxed, that woman has become the center of his gravity. Serene was a storm he had to weather. Duygu was a harbor where he waited. But Aslihan is the home he has built. Rumors are now circulating behind the scenes, whispered by those in the inner sanctum. Is this declaration a setup for something bigger? We are hearing reports that families have met, that cohabitation has begun, and that Çağatay's newfound openness is the prelude to a permanent union. The press is bracing for a shocking announcement. But let us be clear, this confession is not a weapon used to hurt the past. It is not a comparison chart. It is a declaration of arrival. The sensationalist media wants to turn this into a competition of Serene versus Duygu versus Aslihan. But the reality is that Çağatay is not talking about what didn't happen with them, he is celebrating what is happening now. Sometimes, the quietest words make the loudest noise. Çağatay Ulusoy's simple statement was a roar. The shadow of Serene's fire, the memory of Duygu's patience, and the reality of Aslihan's maturity have all converged to show us one thing: Çağatay Ulusoy has finally grown up. And sometimes, what makes a relationship special isn't the magnitude of the love or the headlines it generates, but the simple, miraculous way two people breathe together, at the same pace, with the same tone, in the same calm. Thank you for joining us for this analysis on Anything You Want. We leave you with this. Do you think calmness is the highest form of love? Share your thoughts. And please, before you go, click that join button to become a member of our family. Until the next secret is revealed, cherish the silence. Goodbye.